This is weirdly the most satisfying thing I have ever filmed on YouTube. Welcome back to Ruby on Nails. We have another sponsored video by Syrup Polish. Thank you very much for sponsoring. And I'm gonna just jump into it. I am making nail decals and I'm going to be spilling some of these polishes to do so, and the reason why I'm showing you this part first is because it takes a while for these to dry, so I want to make sure that my polish spills are ready to go for the nail art section of this video. So I created my decals in two ways. The first way is this, where I just blob on a bunch of different colors onto a plastic lid of some sort. I like using things that have a bit of an edge just in case I go overboard and spill polish in places I don't want it, because that's a nightmare to clean up. When making nail decals, this is definitely my favorite part of it, the whole process. I just love blobbing on a bunch of different nail polishes and then picking up that lid and tilting it every which way to get a cool marbling effect. I will show you a different way in just a second where you get a little bit more of a bubbly looking effect, but I am such a fan of this classic water marbling look that this is a great option for most people that don't want to be wasting all that much polish. Once you have your desired water marble look, you can just set the lid down. I like to use several lids at once to create these so I'm not disturbing the nail polish too much. However, if you have plenty of space on a lid, you can wait a little bit for that polish to firm up and keep using it. For this second kind of effect, I like to lay down a base color and then blob polishes on top of that, so you're getting a lot more of a clear circle or oval look. It is a lot more blobicure than the previous look. After that, it's pretty much the same as the water marble effect. You dot on as much polish as you want in whatever kind of color order that you are desiring, and then you just pick up the lid and you move things about. I did this again, maybe a little bit too much, but I really loved how I'm getting these gradients within the little blob cells of polish. For today's video, I did this 3 times and then I let that dry. Here I am going in for a third time. I liked the blob cell so much that I did the base color of nail polish again, and then I just went ahead and dotted more polish on. I wanted some different color combos. The last one was a little bit more green and blue based, so this time I wanted something that was leaning a bit more orange and yellow. If you were doing an all over nail decal, you would do this about 10 to 15 times to make sure that each nail is fully covered. However, for this video, I was going to be cutting up all of these little decals into shapes and squiggles, so I wasn't too worried about having an abundance of nail decals to prep. You can see that I tried a different color combo here. Wasn't a huge fan of it, but I really did like this kind of neon pastel decals that we were getting. And now you wait 4 hours for these to dry. Yeah, I'm not kidding. It's 4 hours. Luckily, I'm not going to make you wait 4 hours, so let's jump into the rest of this tutorial. For my base coat, I used Holotaco smoothing base coat because I have some dents in my nails that I want to hide from the public. And of course, we had to have a friendly neighborhood BMO hair stuck in my brush. And remember when I didn't introduce you to all those pretty colors at the beginning of this tutorial? Well, here we are. We're going to get a nice close-up look on each one, starting off with Botanical Gardens, which is a beautiful, in-your-face, bright pink polish. This polish is bordering neon, and you may even be able to argue that it is neon. And it's fairly opaque, even on this length of nail. If you have shorter nails, you might even be able to get away with 1 coat. Here I am doing 2 coats because you can just see the slightest hint of nail line on my nail. A quick reminder, if you did not see my last sponsored video by Syrup Polish, all of these polishes that I'm showing you today, except for one, is inspired by New York City and Brooklyn. So we have some very eye-catching names to match that theme. Although I was only 5 years old the last time I was in Brooklyn, I do remember how yellow the taxis were, which makes Taxi Lemon the perfect representation of a Brooklyn taxi. Taxi Lemon is a beautiful yellow nail polish that is almost cream all the way, but it has a hint of a jelly feel, so it's very plush looking once it is fully dry on the nail and keeps a very shiny look. I like to do 2 coats of it, but if you have shorter nails, you might be able to get away with 1. I have yet to be able to test that myself, but it is fairly opaque for a yellow polish, which is very hard to do for most brands. Once it has a glossy top coat, this polish is very eye-catching and was very fun to use in this homemade nail decal tutorial. Next up is a polish you've already seen on this channel. DeKalb Pool is my favorite polish from the Ode to Brooklyn collection by Syrup Polish, and it is just that classic, stunning robin egg blue that I love and have way too many of. On my length of nail, I need to do 2 coats, however, it is still fairly opaque in just 1. There is some patchiness in just a few spots, but that second coat really fixes everything up. As you may have noticed, this polish dries fairly shiny, and once you apply a nice thick glossy top coat, it has quite the stunning sparkly look for a cream polish. Last but not least, before our reveal, is Ivory, which is a white polish that has just been an addition to Syrup's overall collection. It was not a part of the Ode to Brooklyn collection. If you were to go to their website and buy just the Ode to Brooklyn collection, it would be missing this polish. However, I wanted to use a white polish to make sure that my other colors popped, and what do you know? They just came out with this white. I do need to do 2 coats on my length of nail, however, if you have shorter nails to me, you might be able to get away with just 1 coat. It is surprisingly very opaque. Remember when I said there was a bit of a twist? In the sense that this is nail polish and it's not life-changing? Well, I did a Skittle Mani with all of these colors for my background. That's the twist. I hope you enjoyed it, because that's the most exciting twist you're going to get from my videos ever. And the reason why I did a Skittle Mani is because I could not choose which color I wanted to use as the background, because they're just so pretty all together. Gotta do that again some other time. But here are all my decals, nice and dried for 4 hours. Feels like 4 years. The way that I peeled these nail decals up is I pried them up with a set of tweezers, so you can really use anything that has kind of a sloped edge to kind of get underneath it, and then I peeled it the rest of the way with my hands. As you can see, you kind of need to be gentle because there are some parts that will probably stick to your plastic lid, but you just need to be gentle. They're going to stretch, and if you kind of want to avoid that, maybe wait a couple more hours. However, I had no patience for that, so I just yanked it off the lid and began my cutting process. I did have to speed up this footage by quite a lot, or I'd be sitting here for another 15 minutes, but the goal here was to kind of cut up some weird shapes. I did some rhombuses, some squares, circles, triangles, and then I cut up some weird ziggy-zaggies just so I would have some variation in shape. Now, I will say I probably could have gotten away with using just one decal. However, there was an issue at one point where the decal kind of stuck to itself. It had folded over, and because there was still some stickiness to it on the inside, it kind of folded over and was impossible to use. So I always recommend using, or at least having, a backup nail decal in the same kind of color scheme if you're going to be recreating this at home. Now, you may remember that I applied my super glossy top coat right before I got into the clipping phase or trimming phase of this video, and I did that because I wanted my nails to be dry yet still have a little bit of a dampness to them. I want them to be at the stage where if I were to press my finger into the polish gently, it wouldn't create a lump or a dent, because I take the decal, place it on my nails, and then I use the heat from my finger to kind of rub it into place to make sure that everything is nice and smooth and that the dampness from the decal kind of merges into the dampness of the nail. I do it this way because I want to make sure that once I'm moving on to another decal, nothing is going to slip or move. As you can see, I might have let my nails dry just a little bit too long because they don't just kind of adhere to each other. But once I rub them into place, they're going to stay there until I'm ready for the final top coat. Just gotta make sure everything's good in place with a lot of uncomfortable rubbing. And like anything else, you're going to take a little bit of acetone on a cleanup brush and you're going to clean up your edges. I like to do this on any part of the nail where the decal is way over my nail or over my cuticle. And once that is done, you can go ahead with your final top coat and seal everything away. This will smooth things out quite nicely. If your decals are a little bit on the thicker side, go ahead and apply a second top coat once the first has fully dried. And with that, you are done. Let me know in the comments down below if you've ever created nail polish decals at home. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Syrup Polish, for sponsoring. If you like this video, like this video. And if you like my videos, subscribe. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.